This is looking down on Rishikesh from one of my favorite trails through the forest. It's a beautiful forest trail walk that takes about 60 minutes.
तुम्हारे 3000 खरे हैं बस 1 मिनट कॉल आ रही है हेलो जी कहाँ पे
These are the tents at Aquaterra Adventures. This is the meeting room, and it's an incredible place to stay. The Aquaterra Adventures is in the jungle. There's hiking around the camp. There's also river rafting. There's many things and activities to do, and they have a great food, great restaurant. I highly recommend staying there when you visit.
मेरा बेटा पता ना पहली बार आया इसने बताया था ना वहीं ऑफिस में बताया था खाना बड़ा सबसे बड़ा है
वासुदेवाय 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 ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Bahut Namaskar. Apa kaise hai? Acha. Apa mera naam Ran. Naam? Mukesh.
तजै नरेषु कोलबिलोक भूप परिधीरा
Doing a little work.
Yes.
And I was so curious who put the money for this
Oh,
because it's so isolated. Who invested?
yes.
Because you mean like Chola?
गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा 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 गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा सिद्धि विनायक गणेशा मंगल मूर्ति गणेशा सिद्धि विनायक गणेशा मंगल मूर्ति गणेशा विश्वाधार गणेशा लंबोदर है नमो नमो गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा 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 ओम गाओ गणेशा गणेशा ओम गणेशा गणेशा ओम गाओ गणेशा बुद्धि विदाता गणेशा ओम बाला गणपति गणेशा बुद्धि विदाता गणेशा ओम बाला गणपति गणेशा धूपति दुर्जा गणेशा ओम गज करना है नमो नमो गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणेशा ओम गणेशा गणेशा ओम गाओ गणेशा गणेशा ओम गणेशा गणेशा ओम गाओ गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा गणेशा ओम गणेशा गणेशा ओम गाओ गणेशा गणेशा ओम गणेशा गणेशा ओम गाओ गणेशा गणपति बप्पा मोरया गणेशा
morning. That is what's known as Tapovan. Some people call it Lakshmanjula, through the forest. That's still Tapovan or Lakshmanjula. Then on the other side of the Ganges, around the bend, is what's known as Ramjula, and that's the Ramjula bridge there. And then there's the new bridge, and then way in the distance, that's actually the town of Rishikesh. Good morning. I'm on my morning. This is Ron Rash. You're looking at the my YouTube channel, 1,000 Ways, and I'm in Rishikesh, India, and I'll be here for a few weeks. And I have to admit, this is one of my favorite trails coming up out of Rishikesh, Lakshmanjula, and it gains probably about 1,500 vertical feet, goes over a ridge, and then drops down, circles back to Rishikesh, and that's where I'll have breakfast later on. It's just beautiful here. This is the dry season, and it's pretty amazing. You can tell it's dry, even though they had plenty of rain this past summer and fall. And like I said, I'll be here for a couple of weeks before in February I need to be in Manali and possibly the Spiti Valley at a village above Manali called Satan. And I'll be teaching a couple of avalanche workshops there with Ravi Thankor, who used to be the president of the Manali Guides Association. I'm really excited about doing that, even though I know it's going to be cold, and it's going to be a humid cold. And I've always found that a lot more challenging than the cold that we have in Colorado or Wyoming. I love seeing the Ganges River here. People think of the Ganges as a polluted river, a mess, and below Rishikesh, below Hardwar, and then on all the way to the Bay of Bengal, it is pretty polluted. It's awful. Pete McBride has a great documentary about it with Jake Norton, about the pollution levels, especially around Varanasi. It's quite scary. And it's not just human waste, which it is human waste, but there's a lot of chemical pollution in the river, and that's what's frightening. That you can't really purify or clean out of the system, and that takes a long time to recover from that. Anyway, back to my hike up the trail. Well, on my morning hike, I just came through this farm on the trail, and I love seeing how they terrace and have their crops. You can see there's onions there, I think potatoes, aloo up above, and then the trail continues on down, and here comes someone up the trail. Good morning. This has been totally fascinating. I just visiting the ashram with the Baba that lives in the cave. I was in one of the caves. I can't imagine there's another one, but it looks like maybe there is. So I'm going to walk down here to check on this cave. The caves are used for meditation in a similar way as when you go to the Beatles Ashram in Rishikesh, which is approximately 30 miles away. They have caves there too. Not caves, they're meditation chambers. And I can show those later on in a different video. And as I'm walking over here, it does appear there's a cave, and I'm going to check it out. A little nervous about checking out caves in India. Not really sure who or what may be in that cave. But this one looks like humans do use it. So we'll see. Here we go. I'm going to turn the camera up this way. It doesn't appear that anybody's home at this cave, but here's the meditation chamber in Jula, where they practice Jula offerings, which is quite fascinating. And I have to admit, what a wonderful location for meditation. Wow, looking at this sign of the Beatles Ashram, things have certainly changed here since my first visit. It's gotten very commercial. Wow. From my first visit here to Rishikesh and Ram Jula to now, I cannot believe how it's changed. And because of the influx of tourists and Westerners, including me, it was just a matter of time before this became very commercialized. And it has happened. The amount of construction I'm seeing and building is just incredible. That bridge did not exist my first visit, first few times. It's here now, and it's just pretty amazing. This was all pretty rough coming down to the Beatles Ashram. I can't believe how it's changed. I'm kind of anxious now to walk through the Beatles Ashram again and just see the changes that have been made. Oh my goodness, there's even a Beatles cottage here. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Um, it looks like even the route to the Beatles Ashram has changed. But I'll find that out soon here. Now it's looking a little rough again, but this is the old part of Rishikesh. Anyway. The Rajaji Tiger Reserve, I've been there a number of times. I've never seen a tiger. I have seen their tracks in the reserve, but never a tiger. And I've never seen a wild elephant there. I've seen wild elephants in other locations of India, but not at the Rajaji Tiger Reserve. So I paid. I've entered the Beatles Ashram. It's not really the Beatles Ashram. They only stayed here for a period of time. They did write the White Album here, Abbey Road, and a number of songs, which I think is pretty cool. And I do like all of the changes they've done. Granted, the first time I came here, the ticket price was, I don't know, 500, 600 rupees. Now it's 1,200, which is approximately a little over $14. But I believe for someone that really liked the Beatles and all of the majority of their songs, it's okay to pay that. These are the meditation chambers where people would come to the Maharishi and meditate in silence. From what I've read, besides the food, Ringo Starr was not into yoga, meditation, or the Indian food. And George Harrison was totally into it, which makes sense. Wow, that's interesting. The meditation chambers, or these caves, were actually built after the Beatles were here for yogis, sadhus practicing. But there are other meditation locations up here that the Beatles would have used. Maharishi Mahesh Yoga established this ashram in 1961 on 7.5 acres of forest land. Many famous people, including the Beatles, came here to practice transcendental meditation. It has now been developed as a nature center by the Rajaji Tiger Reserve. Oh, that's so cool. Some of the other celebrities that came here was Mia Farrow, the Beatles. There were quite a few, and some stayed longer than others. David Love, the Beach Boys, stayed here, which is pretty awesome. Okay, I had to think about it. It's Brian Love of the Beach Boys. I'm not sure why I said David Love. Well, I won't be getting my drone out.
Yeah.
I love the drawings and paintings on the walls. You can see part of the ashram has not been restored like others. Again, I love the murals. Oh, this is so cool. This was the printing press.
ऑनलाइन हो जाएगा।
It's funny, this is probably the fourth or fifth time I've been here, and I could be wrong, but I think I could walk the streets of Liverpool and other places in England. I don't think I'd have the same feeling. Maybe I would, but here I just think it's pretty cool coming to a place where the Beatles were in India. This sadhu here is a drawing, painting of an Agori sadhu. You can see the skulls. And the Agori sadhus, there's not a lot of them, I don't think. I'm not sure if anybody knows the exact number, but the Agori sadhus are the ones that a lot of times are Naga sadhus, naked sadhus, will walk around naked and drink out and eat out of skull heads. They rub ash all over their body. This would be a great place for coming in the night on Halloween. I don't think we'll do that. This is an area of the ashram that I've never walked to before. And when you do have an ashram or a museum that's this big, I guess you're going to see something different every time you come. Oh my goodness, look at this. This is the location that housed the Beatles, Mike Love, Donovan, and the Farrell sisters, along with other. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to Google this. I guess it's Mike Love. I thought it was Brian. Anyway, maybe I'll do that right now. Thank goodness I have connection. I just Googled it. Mike Love is a cousin to Brian Love, so they both came here. It wasn't just Mike Love or Brian Love, which is pretty neat. Well, this is pretty cool. I've been here before, and these chambers, different places, are pretty outstanding. Well, I'm not sure who makes the designation that certain places are safer than others. So, wow, I don't have enough light. But these are on each side is a meditation cave or chamber. And it says there's 84 of them in here. Hopefully there's no wild animals in here. Okay, a little bit more light. You can see into them. Now these structures here that we're looking at, I think it's going to give us some information down here. They appear to be like apartments. And I don't think, well, you know what, I'm not going to say anything until hopefully they'll have some signage. I've been in them before. I've been up to the top. There's meditation chambers up there that you can actually go in, or used to be able to. But there's a sign here. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back in them. Even years ago, it seemed quite unsafe. Oh yeah, 1976, residential accommodation. So this was not here when the Beatles were here. But again, it is pretty cool. You know, one thing I just remembered too, that transcendental meditation, I think it's known as TMI. No, that's too much information. So it's TM, Transcendental Meditation. There's a university in Iowa. I think it's in well, maybe I should Google that again. But anyway, I've been by it before. I think it's pretty cool that there's a university dedicated to meditation in, of all places, Iowa. Not that I have anything against Iowa. That's where I grew up. Oh, another Agori Sadhu painting. When this ashram was active in its heyday, it must have been quite the place. Well, I'm on top.